Hi, my love. This is going to be your mini tarot reading. So your reading, you asked that you started a new relationship last year, feeling doubts about the future, and you want insight on the relationship. You also wrote that you've been noticing your ex has been showing up in dreams, and you just kind of want to know what's going on, like why. I would question that too. You know, why am I dreaming of the ex when I'm in this new relationship? So I'm going to go ahead and read for that. So we're going to look at the dynamic of this relationship. I have my energy oracle, so I'm going to use this one. I do read reversals with it. So let's get some insight on this relationship. Ooh. Okay, so we have man holding the coin in reversed, hostilities, and we have the second chakra, the Archangel Ariel. Second chakra, and it's in reverse, is the sacral chakra. That is the one it's orange, and it resides in your abdomen. It's actually your sexual chakra, like your sexual energy, your creative energy. So really interesting that that's coming up for this relationship dynamic. In the center is the hostilities card, okay? And then and there's also the man holding the coin in reversed. And so what I'm feeling like is when you have dreams of the ex, it could be, you know, your subconscious is like you're in a fresh relationship, and maybe you're just thinking about, you're sizing up the present relationship with the past. Okay, so sometimes you could be literally subconsciously comparing when you don't think that you really are. And so sometimes that might pop up. Or it could also be a need for seeking closure. There could be some closure that hasn't yet happened with the ex. And maybe with having a new relationship coming into the mix, you feel like there's still there's still open wounds from the previous relationship, and it's almost like the hostility card is almost like feeling guilt to allow yourself to love again or to enjoy another person, enjoy the offering of another man. So here we have the man holding the coin, but in reverse, it's almost like whatever it is that he's offering, you feel like you're not worthy of it because there's still open wounds with the previous person, okay? So we have the Eight of Swords in reversed. We have the Ten of Swords in reversed, the Queen of Wands, and we have the Wheel of Fortune. So I love it. The Queen of Wands obviously she's displaying you. She's also draped in fiery oranges and yellows, which definitely resembles that sacral chakra that we're seeing here. Your sacral chakra is unbalanced, coming up in reverse, okay? So figuratively speaking, the card is revealing it in reverse. I see it as unbalanced. Anytime there's an unbalanced chakra, you feel the negative sense of it. So for your sacral to be unbalanced, this could be a lack of sexual energy or a lack of sexual connection with that person. There could be, maybe you're not feeling as like sexually charged with this new mate because you're comparing, like subconsciously you could be comparing to the previous person that you were with. And you know, that can kind of toy with your mind a little bit. And maybe you don't want to admit to that because, you know, when things are fresh in a relationship, things should be spicy, right? But maybe you've noticed that they're not as spicy as you would think they should be. And so subconsciously, you know, you're kind of like, maybe this just isn't a match. Maybe we're just not supposed to be together because of that. Eight of Swords and Ten of Swords in reverse is definitely telling me there's a lot going on with the mind with you. So the sword suit is communication, but it's also thoughts. And that Eight of Swords is definitely entrapment. It's feeling like you just can't get out of your thoughts. It's suffocating you. It's holding you hostage. You're not able to free yourself from those thoughts. And then the Ten of Swords coming up also is just kind of feeling either like I don't know what happened in the relationship previous, but there could have been those feelings of being backstabbed, those feelings of definite disappointment with that person. And like, I feel like this is, you see the swords in his back, that makes me think of open wounds. So I do feel like there's definitely a underlying need to seek closure from those open wounds. And because you started a new relationship late last year, which is, it's very fresh, it's only a couple months old, these wounds are still there. And maybe when you were first like dating and seeking out love, you didn't really feel the wounds, you didn't really notice them, but now that you're fresh in a relationship, they're starting to make themselves known, and they're appearing to you in the form of dreams. So just because you have closure to seek doesn't mean you have to go out and contact the ex and talk to them, although that is definitely one way you could go about it. But if you want nothing to do with the ex, another way you could go about these closure processes is writing it down. You know, maybe there's just something within you that you need to get out. So write it down. You know, it's kind of like you're just gonna word vomit all over your paper, you know. Write everything out. Write everything that you're feeling and your disappointments and that whole relationship. Like, just write it down. And you could burn it, or you could bury it, or you could just leave it tucked away in your journal somewhere. But that's just a way for you to get it out. You can meditate. You can meditate on the holes or the wounds in your heart. And do some energetic work of healing it. You could also do cord cutting meditations. I also recommend those, especially when you feel like you're still tethered to that person. And so you could do cord cutting meditations to release yourself energetically from that person. So that's another way you can kind of seek closure without connecting or communicating with that person. Now, if you do want to go the route of connecting and communicating with that person, you need to make sure that it's safe. You know, for one thing, make sure it's safe, because that hostility card is making me nervous. I don't know if the ex was a manipulative person, or if there was just some really nasty ways of why you guys broke up with that 10 of swords and whatnot. So, if that's the case, just be very careful if you do reconnect for that purpose. But I would say keep it energetic wise. That might be the safest way. Wheel of Fortune coming up after the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands, you will find your mojo again. Queen of Wands is you will find your passions, and you will find beauty and just feeling good and sexy and all of the above with yourself again. Wheel of Fortune is showing definitely the wheels will be turning. There's a cycle that needs to end. You have 2 10s here, right? So okay, so this is exactly like what I'm saying. You have a 10 of swords here. You have you that's stuck in the middle. You have another 10 card over here, the Wheel of Fortune, which is the card of moving forward, moving on. She's stuck in between it. So you're definitely stuck between 2 people, 2 feelings, 2 emotions, the past and the present, right? And so, the past and the future. So I feel like definitely there's closure that needs to happen. There's some letting go of that kind of aspect before you can start to feel that wheel turning again, okay? Some of the other oracle cards I pulled for you, we have Awakening, opening your eyes. You have like literally the picture of the eyes in the background. So Awakening, opening your eyes. And we have Reflection, which is definitely that work of releasing yourself. Releasing yourself from the past, releasing yourself from the pain of the ex. I'm gonna go ahead and pull for the process of closure for you. Let's see what cards come out. Temperance. 4 of Wands. 9 of Wands. So the 9 of Wands is like that pain from the past, going through some rough patches, but you're still holding strong. You're still standing up. You're standing up for yourself. You're hanging in there. You're doing what you need to do. The 4 of Wands is stability. That's what you need, right? You need stability, security, support. Okay, so this process of closure will grant you that. This process of closure may not be easy for you. It may not be easy having to dig into the past, but there's a reason why that past is creeping up and in the form of dreams. It's subconsciously you are thinking about it because there's open wounds. There's things there that maybe you haven't been able to say, or there's emotions that you haven't dealt with, or there's memories, right? And then we have temperance, which is patience. Okay, it's patience. And so I feel like this process is like you find new love, you're in a relationship. It takes patience and time for things to kind of develop into something strong and powerful. Temperance card is it's going to take patience for the same thing of seeking closure. So just because you know you got to seek closure doesn't mean it's going to happen in the blink of an eye. This is a process that could take some time. So give it some time. Do it, approach it in the way that you feel comfortable. And I feel like it's like this relationship, this current relationship you are in, that 10 of Wheel of Fortune just definitely shows to me that it hasn't been able to fully develop into what it could be, because there's all this stuff in your past. So I feel like once you set this past free and you fully go into this relationship full head on, you're going to start to see the real potential of this relationship happen. But it's starting off on kind of a negative note. So don't let that damper the relationship right now. I'm not saying it's not going to work, but I'm saying it's like you haven't seen its full potential because of pretty much the baggage, right? So once you release the baggage and you deal with that, you're going to start to see the ball rolling again. That Wheel of Fortune, there's going to be some changes. And obviously with a 10, there's always a 1 waiting right after it. So a new beginning. So a second chance for this new relationship to kind of show and prove it to you what it's truly going to be. And if you're still feeling disconnected, then obviously there's something else there. And then you tackle that when it comes. But in the meantime, definitely there needs to be some work on the past. Okay? So thank you, my love. Thank you for allowing me to read for you. I hope you enjoyed. If you have questions, comments, concerns, or feedback, please send me an email. Otherwise, I will talk to you later. Bye, loves.